Hey, good morning, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Operation American Dream. Hope you got a coffee, layman. Got
water.
yours.
Looks like coffee, though.
Vodka, what, something, whatever. Anyway, we got a good show lined up today. Who do you got? You helped me line up these all-stars.
Tony Stewart and Eric Knowles from Laughs for Warriors, a event sponsored by Us for Warriors. We've got my buddy Joe Burley from Save San Diego and the Military Families Collaborative, and I think you got a
I got to talk real estate.
You get to talk real estate.
But the advocacy part, you know, when you can buy a house with no money down, it's pretty exciting. So great show lined up. Here comes another episode of Operation American Dream. All right, welcome back to Operation American Dream. Daniel Lehman, we have our first comedian on the show. Tony Stewart, the comedian. There he is.
Yeah, right.
Good to have you on again, Tony Stewart. You are the CEO of Us for Warriors. Also joining us in studio, Eric Knowles, who is with Veterans for Comedy. You're actually taking a trip out to the Mideast to do some, I think, fundraising, help our support our
we're
military.
going with my tour, the Veterans of Comedy, is going with Armed Forces Entertainment to just support the troops. We'll be there in November. I can't say exactly when, operational security.
Got it.
But we'll be in the Middle East supporting the troops for our second time as the Veterans of Comedy tour. We're really looking forward to it. Last time was just completely life-changing and just a lot of fun.
We appreciate you doing that. And you served in the Marines yourself.
Yeah, you could call it served.
Yeah.
I swept a lot of floors, mopped a lot of stuff, pretty much.
And then, so Tony, tell us about Us for Warriors.
Well, Us for Warriors is a team of uncompensated veterans who we cast a wide net. We try to fill in the gaps. The simple, basic fact of the troops, veterans, and their families is our goal and our mission. And we go in many different directions to do that, 5 programs that we tackle. But the bottom line is there's gaps out there. There's things that need to be done, and we gathered together. A lot of professionals in industries and different things like that we came together and said, hey, let's do some stuff.
So give us an example of a gap.
Well, for example, most recently we had 4 tons of food that we did a food drop. We started initiating this food drop deal every month. There's a lot of different food banks. There's food stuff that goes on out there, but people have to travel. They have to drive. They have to get to those locations. So we did a food drop. We call it Food for Warriors. We did it in South Bay. We're going to be doing one every month coming up from here on out. And by doing that, we know some folks in those particular areas who can't make it to a food bank. Who can't, they need the food, they need the help, so we deliver it. And then we also have stuff there that they can come pick up, and homeless come and pick it up, and it's a good thing. That's an example of a gap.
So you guys, you guys have all the time. You have events and stuff going on, and so one of the events that are coming up is Laughs for Warriors, and that's kind of how you guys connected up.
Exactly. Laughs for Warriors, we got that coming up on 29 July.
So that's here.
Yeah.
We don't have to go to Iraq to see this or live stream it. Got it.
No, and you got Veterans of Comedy. They're going to be there. They're going to be squashing it that day. They're going to make sure that everybody in the house is laughing and all that kind of stuff. We got some fine dining happening, freebies for everybody that signs up.
What is the date of this one?
29 July.
So the 29th of July coming up. If you want to support the military, have a good time. Sure, we can get people online and get them registered for everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah, and they can go to www.laughs4warriors.org. It'll take them straight to the page so they can sign up and get their tickets, or donate if they would like to donate.
And then you said that there was a special that you guys were going to do for viewers of our show.
Yeah, thanks for asking.
Daniel's like, so you're gonna
Give us a discount.
I'm
That's my
telling
job.
you.
You already brought us a hat.
I'm telling you,
man.
I just sit here and try to get free
Squeeze him.
stuff.
He's like, what else can we
What do you
get?
think I'm here for, man?
Come on, what do you got that's free?
I love these guys.
So we knew there would be some free stuff today.
Well, you got it. Well, you know what? We put our crack team of humorous folks together and said, put down the Pokemon Go. Let's figure out how we can make some stuff.
Stop walking off cliffs.
Exactly.
Dude,
Let's
did that
see how
really
we
just
can
happen?
make some
I
good
think it
stuff.
probably did. It wouldn't surprise me. You got some comedy around that, man. We got to have some.
You got to start working on
It's
it.
all over that. Yeah, I don't even have to write anything.
Yeah,
So
I'm
here's
just
Already
kidding.
walking off cliffs. That's the punchline right there.
So here's the promo code, just so I make sure I get it out
yeah.
there. If you use Operation AD as your promotional code, you can get 30% off.
Cool.
30% off. We're still going to be doing okay. We get all good people at this event. We have some fantastic prizes to auction off. We have a professional auctioneer to the stars. Pierre Chamason will be there.
That
He's
means
awesome.
dangerous right there. I have experience with that.
Yeah,
Professional auctioneers are.
Oh, man, yeah.
He's great. And we've just got so much stuff. Like I say with when people talk about Us for Warriors, I can't capture in 30 to 60 seconds what we do at Us for Warriors. I cannot capture Laughs for Warriors in 30 to 60 seconds.
So what's the venue?
It's going to be at Marina Village, Bayview Room, right there on the
And you're going
dock.
to be performing?
Yep.
Tell us something funny. So I mean, how do you interview a comedian? It's like, say something funny.
It's always
I'll
the
tell you.
worst,
I'll
yeah.
tell you what you don't do is you don't let him take over. In between the break, Eric Knowles, he's like, oh, like Beyonce Knowles, like put a ring on it. It's like, no,
It wasn't even meant to be a. It wasn't even meant to be a
About
joke.
lemonade, yeah.
He's taking notes,
Something
man.
there.
So I mean, what is the premise of your comedic act?
Well, mine is just a very truthful telling of my Marine Corps experience.
Which is comedy in its
Which
sen-
was
in itself.
that a lot of people tell them that I served and they'll applaud, and I'll say, well, thanks. I like that you assume that I did a good job, because I didn't. Really, I got in a lot of trouble. You know, the Marine Corps is no place for a stand-up comedian, it turns out. I didn't know that when I went in. Everything was funny to me, and they hated that. I was always laughing. You know, what's so funny, Knowles? I was like, everything, all of this is hilarious to me. I mean, you make us run around in little shorts and tight little shirts singing songs about how tough we are. That's irony. That's textbook irony. Like, I'll do it, but let me giggle.
Don't give him more
seriously.
ammunition over here.
It's just basically a comedian. Like, I wasn't a comedian back then professionally. I just didn't know it, pretty much. And I happened to join the Marine Corps. I felt patriotic. I had always wanted to do it since I was a kid. And I went in thinking it would be fun and games. and it was. I made it fun and games. I got busted down 3 times. I lost rank 3 times in 5 years. I got out honorably, barely. It was close. You know. Like, people liked me, you know, but they were professional. They had to do their jobs. You know, they're like, that was hilarious, Knowles, but we got to write you up on that one for sure. You know?
I laughed, but I shouldn't
Yeah,
have.
I was frowned upon quite a bit. It was a lot of fun. I made lifelong friends. I served in Iraq, sort of. I was a door greeter at the Chow Hall in Iraq in 2003.
You're a bouncer.
Keep it
Yeah.
light.
You know, I did a lot of the behind-the-scenes things. I volunteered to go. I went on a volunteer mission. So I ended up doing all kinds of behind-the-scenes things, and that's kind of what I do. Is I shed light on the rear, what they call it, in the rear with the gear. All of the stuff that goes on behind the scenes. All of those the men and women that are just doing menial jobs. There's guys out there cooking, and there's laundry marines. You know,
Right.
there's electricians and drywallers and just all kinds of people that you wouldn't even think are out there serving our country. You know, and not to take away from the infantry and the guys on the front lines, because that's what it's all about. But none of that would be possible without all of the little guys all the way down the line. And so that's what I like to bring light to.
Well, I certainly think it's an important element for those who've served, who've come out, getting out into the real world, and laughing is a nice remedy, right?
Absolutely, it saved my life.
Yeah. Well, awesome. Guys, thanks for coming in here.
Hilarious too, let me tell you.
Yeah, well, I look forward to it. I mean, we'll see you on July 29th. I hope our audience can go and capture that. What's the discount you got everybody today?
30%, man. I
30
got it for
way
you
to
guys.
squeeze
Operation
them,
AD. Promo code,
Layman the
30%.
professional squeezer, man.
Right on.
what I'm
All right,
here
good
for, man.
stuff, guys. Thanks for coming on the show. Thanks for the ball cap, and more Operation American Dream coming up next.
My name's Kevin Grangetto. I live in Escondido, California, and I had my system put in by Baker Electric Solar. When they got here, they were ready to go. Started early, 6 in the morning. They parked off site, so they were able to get everything in on the roof, hooked up and done in a matter of 3 days. And it was really easy for my wife and I to work with them. You just don't want a lot of these challenges to be, affecting the way that you do your life. And when they got in and out of here, it was excellent. It was easy. It's just the way they told me it would be.
All right, welcome back to Operation American Dream. In the studio now, I've got a good friend of mine and a guy that I see all around the community. It's always great to see you, man. Joe Burley with the Military Families Collaborative, San Diego Military Families Collaborative, which is a segment or a program through saysandiego.org.
Right. Yeah,
so,
exactly.
so tell me about the Military Family Collaborative. How did it come about? What's your involvement in it?
Yeah.
Give me the scoop.
Yeah, great question. Probably it merged around 2010. There had always been an iteration of it for a lot of years here in San Diego. But it was kind of a smaller group getting together. And then 2010, I started my position at Say San Diego as the coordinator of a military family resource center up in Murphy Canyon. Many folks may or may not know that neighborhood is the largest off-base military housing community in the world. So you've got a lot of families, and at the time also there's a lot of kind of great local research that had come out that kind of the cross-cutting theme was where, rural city USA, military family, the difficulty is not knowing where to go. There's not much out there. In San Diego,
Kind of drowning in a sea of goodwill.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, so what's the core purpose of the collaborative? I mean, the collaborative has over 100 organizations involved with it, and they kind of collaborate and work together for the betterment of the military community. But kind of go over exactly what the collaborative does.
Yeah. That ultimately started that if we as service providers don't know what each other are doing, how much more removed are families themselves? So how do we really strengthen the system of support that's here in San Diego? So that when families reach out, they can kind of get that warm handoff that they need. And so we're really about creating an inclusive forum to maximize the collective impact of San Diego's resources to enhance military family life.
And you guys have what, bi-weekly or like semi-monthly convenings? You do a couple convenings a month, one in North County, one in South County, kind of to cover the county?
Yeah, exactly. And so we have the second Friday of the month is in North County, the Veterans Association of North County.
In Oceanside.
And then the fourth Friday of the month is over at United Way in their conference center there.
You know what's impressive to me about those meetings that I've been to is a lot of times you get organizations that kind of have some overlap, but they end up working together. And if there's one military family that has a problem, having that knowledge of what else is out there and having the ability to kind of pass it off to people that are if you're taking the time to go out and do these events, you're probably one of the good guys, right? One of the guys that's actually doing something in the community.
Exactly.
So is that on
Yeah,
track?
yeah. So it really kind of creates a trusted network of organizations. So it's a warm, welcoming place to find information, get connected. And like you were saying, I think when there is so much out there, I think the example, and I think it was one of the convenings you're at, we had a lot of the financial support organizations that are out there for military families. So it was Navy Marine Corps Relief, Support the Enlisted Project.
MCS Miramar.
Yeah, MCS
Actually,
Miramar.
representatives,
and the Navy counterpart at Navy Fleet and Family.
Yeah.
So really looking at kind of how do all of these organizations kind of work together, where on the front it may sound like they do the same thing, but you really get into it and they're really providing each kind of a unique need and fitting a unique niche.
So speaking of organizations, there's some great ones out there. What are some of your members that are really making a difference? What are some of the great organizations that are a member of the collaborative that we can highlight?
Yeah. Well, I think one thing that's cool is some of what are traditionally seen as kind of large bureaucratic pieces of the military and veteran space, by being involved in the collaborative, are really kind of able to break down and have a very relationship-based way of connecting with the community. So Department of Labor, the VA, the Navy, the Marines, so you got the big groups like that, all the way down to some of those kind of smaller, like I said, Navy Marine Corps Relief.
You had representatives from like elementary schools,
Exactly.
like taking
So
care
that-
of kids with adults that
Exactly.
are with their parents being deployed, that kind of thing.
Right, exactly.
So that's a great event. So one of the, there's obviously a lot of issues and a lot of issues to address in the military community. One of the big things that you guys address and do a great job of addressing is transition, right? Transitioning out of and the military spouse transition, because we've got TAPS class, we've got our what's it, GPS now.
GGPS,
We've got we've got organizations like 0800. We've got organizations like, like Reboot, and some of these organizations that handle the military transitioning out. But you guys really focus on the spouse also transitioning as a member of the military family, right?
Right, exactly. A lot of times when you think about that transition process, the research shows, and pretty much you ask anybody, it's the spouses who are kind of thinking through and running that process for the full family. And so we were kind of finding a little bit of a disconnect where some spouses really, while they're invited to the TGPS and TRS, really didn't have the opportunity to kind of give up a full week to attend. And so as a community, we came together to really kind of come up with a condensed version, have all that information, a lot of the same presenters.
Military spouse is like the unsung hero of the military period.
Exactly.
I mean, military is out doing high-speed, low-drag stuff.
Exactly.
Doing what they're told and out in country and stuff. And then you've got the military spouse, very much in the same kind of battle with trying to get new dentists and get the kids and deal with bullying and deal with all this stuff on their own. And the transition, especially so.
One of the kind of cool stories that came out of the military transition, the spouse edition workshops that we have, was a spouse who was noticing that her partner or husband was kind of shutting down. And so this transition date was coming quicker and quicker, and she really wasn't feeling like she was getting good information. So she was able to come and just be able to give up just a little bit of a morning to get information, really to then feel empowered to have a meaningful conversation with her husband to kind of say, here's the information I'm getting. Does this resonate with what you're getting? And really, so they could kind of come together as one unit to really think about going through that.
Awesome, man. Incredibly useful, man. I appreciate you putting so much into that. So when is your next transition course for spouses is the 26th?
Yes, exactly.
July 26th?
July 26th.
And then how do people get involved with that?
Yeah, if you go to sdmilitaryfamily.org, you can find all of our information there. If you go to our, we got an events page, really anything that's happening in San Diego, all of our 100+ members put all of their events and resources and information on our community calendar. And you'll definitely, if you look for that date on July there, you'll be able to sign right up, RSVP online, free food, free childcare, lunch,
Hey, man.
meet other spouses, great place to stay connected.
Again, thanks so much for what you do, man. Great to see you as always. If you're interested in taking a look at the San Diego Military Family Collaborative, if you're an organization that wants to kind of collaborate with other organizations, really gain ground in kind of what you're doing and collaborate and learn from other people that are doing great things in the community, sdmilitaryfamily.org. Or if you have any interest in it, in the spouse transition classes, and you're upcoming facing a transition out of the military, check out sdmilitaryfamily.org. Joe, thanks so much. We'll be right back with more Operation American Dream.
Hi, I am Bob Schuster. This is Arlene Schuster. We live in Escondido, California, and we chose Baker Electric Solar to install our solar system at our home.
We've known the Baker family for many years. We're both pioneer families here in Escondido. We chose them because of the integrity of their family.
But they were first class. We know what good service means to the customer. Baker Electric is the epitome of that good service.
It's the best experience we could have ever had. We're very pleased.
All right, welcome back to Operation American Dream. As you know, I host a daily TV show called The American Dream throughout the week leading up to this show, and somehow I've been positioned as a guy who talks about real estate, does real estate events. So I have kicked Daniel out of here, and we are going to focus on some of the things happening in San Diego's real estate market, and we're going to focus on the things that can be opportunities for you if you've served in the military, and even if you haven't, like me, there's a lot of opportunities in real estate as well. Joining us in studio, he is actually on the show this week, Jason Hall, Team Home Loans.
Thank you, sir.
Ricardo Neva, who actually served in the Air Force. Thank you for your service. Good to have you on here as well. And for the first time joining us in studio, Melissa Rocks.
Yes, thank you.
Help me, help you, help me, help the show. Pronounce your last name. I don't even want to try it.
It is Sizauskas.
There you
See
go.
how easy that was?
Do you have to say it like that? Like
yes.
Sizauskas.
Yes.
But your website is melissarocks.com.
Yes, it's melissac.rocks.
Awesome. So you are crushing it in real estate. You have written a book, which we're going to talk about here in a bit. You do a lot of philanthropy stuff, charitable stuff for the military and beyond. So you are a busy woman.
Yes, I am.
Yeah, sounds like you have fun too. I mean, a lot of these
do.
things are parties and golf tournaments and the whole 9 yards.
Well, I have a passion to connect people. And it's a gift. And I'm looking forward to doing more charity events with the military, like the wonderful and esteemed guests you had on the show just recently. So we just discussed that.
So what are some cool things you have coming up? What are you doing? What are you getting involved in?
Well, a fabulous event with Miracle Babies, and that's a wonderful charity that helps babies in need that are physically struggling or their parents also financially are in need of help and assistance. So we're doing a charity golf tournament at the new Bay Club Fairbanks Ranch, which the Bay Club just purchased, and that will be coming up in May.
Very cool.
And then spoke to the gentleman here about September 30th, working with military families and officers to host an event for them also, hopefully at Fairbanks Ranch Country
Very
Club.
cool. Well, these
Yeah.
events tend to be fun. I imagine the golf tournament will be a lot of fun. So you were at the Miracle Babies event we did a few weeks ago with Oakwood Escrow.
that was
putting thing
wonderful.
on.
The white party.
The white part. I emceed it. I'm happy to admit I was the worst MC in the history of
No,
MC.
you did great.
Not
Dude, I didn't do anything.
Not possible.
See, everyone like that gives you that. It's not like I'm embarrassed by my performance. I didn't perform at all.
You met
I came in,
people.
I'm like, hello, here's the event, and I handed over to Kara Kay, who's a former Charger cheerleader, who's beautiful. It's like, why would even anyone want to hear from me? And I just disappeared in the crowd and drank all night and had a blast. And we raised a lot of money. It was very successful. So I know that when you guys do these things, they're fun too.
Absolutely, but you know, the beauty of that, you were there. And that's
Yeah.
what they wanted. It was just your presence and your great personality. And
See that?
You see?
That's why we have you here
Of
today.
course.
See?
We need to keep you
fulfilled the
around.
And she
purpose.
wasn't even there, but she knows you, Craig.
Yeah,
Right? And you
awesome.
you have a great personality. We had a great time. Being the Charger guy, as you know, the #1 Charger fan that, you know, I always let everybody know, born and raised here.
Are you allowed to claim that you're
And
just the #1
you
fan?
know
I'm
what?
sure there's a lot of people like, really? Do you have season tickets for the last 20 years?
Yeah, I mean,
probably has,
everybody
yeah.
has different values of where you rank it as far as what type of fan you are. But when you name your son after a Charger, you name your business and logo after a Charger, your house is blue and your door is gold. All of your cars are blue and they all have Charger
little
bolts on. But at the event,
When you have a Charger tattoo on your
Yeah.
chest, it's like, all right, got it.
so that's
got
why
it.
I claimed that. But at the event that you hosted, you gave me an opportunity to meet Israel Stanley, Wes Chandler.
Yep.
These were past greats. We had
Oh, yeah.
Darren Carrington on American Dream just recently, last month.
Very cool.
So thank you so much for all
You
you do.
bet. So a cool thing that you guys do, Team Home Loans. So we're on the real estate side. First of all, how's the real estate market doing?
Real estate is amazing. I mean, it's a combination of both the buyers and the sellers market because rates are off the charts, and the as our resident lender experts should know, but now the guidelines are really getting a little bit more lenient. Well, definitely more lenient.
Not like they used to be.
Not
but
like
they're
the 06.
definitely
When
looser.
you start
Right.
talking subprime,
Yeah.
I'm selling my house.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Me
yeah.
too.
I
Me
was
too.
I was a lender from 05 to 08. So
How valuable is that skill set though when you're doing real estate? I always say that realtors who had were in financing and understand it make you way more powerful when you meet with your clients. I mean,
it's
that's
very important. I actually started in '89 in title, and then they put me into escrow, and then sales in Silicon
So you've done it
Valley.
all.
Yeah, and then lending. Then the broker closed his doors in '07, and then went to IndyMac Retail because they started
They
their
closed the
retail
doors.
division.
She told me the story. I was like,
And then I went, good night,
and now she's
everybody.
at, so now
I
she's
don't
at
need
Keller
this."
Williams. Should they be concerned over Keller Williams? Should Gary Keller be
Yeah.
No,
concerned?
they're so good to me. They love me. And Chris Heller, the CEO of Keller Williams now, I mean, they're just so good to me. And Jeremiah Taylor. Thank you, Jeremiah.
Good people, yeah.
Good people. And they really have, a heart to it. What I love, I have to say, is they say God first, family second, work third. So I just thought that's why I went there.
very cool.
Yeah.
Well, let's give Ricardo an opportunity to step in here because we're talking about the ability to buy homes. If you've served in the military, great opportunities, no money down, low interest rate. So you who have served, let's discuss some of the opportunities for those who've served as like you have.
Right, and I myself am a veteran. I was in the Air Force for 4 years. I was
Thank
born
you
and
for
raised in
your
San
service.
Diego. Thank you for your support. And one of the reasons why I wanted to join Jason Hall's team over there at Team Home Loans is because they do something amazing that's very unique in San Diego. Lots of people do VA loans, right? Everybody does them, no money down. Very few people do those where they pay the closing costs and the appraisal, where literally a veteran or a military member can get a loan with nothing coming out of their pocket. That's very unique, and it gives
So you
us
probably
the
got to do the
opportunity
earnest
to bless people.
deposit, but then
That's
you
it.
get
Yes,
that credit
correct.
back, right?
Our goal is to get you in a deposit for like $1,000 to $2,500, and when you get the keys, you get that $1,000 to $2,500 back. So you're truly in no money down, and you're not asking the seller to pay the closing costs. We, as the lender, as a branch of Synergy One Lending, we have that opportunity. And that's something that I know Daniel does, it's something we do, and that's something that's great for the veterans.
Yeah, one of the things I don't ever want to do is just tell people, go buy a house, right? That's just not good advice. However, if you've served in the military, it's just one of those things that's so low risk and so high reward. You got to pay rent, so that money's going nowhere for you. But if you buy a house with no money down, you get a fixed payment, interest rate, tax deductible, build equity. If you get deployed, you can rent it. If you get deployed, you could sell it. If the housing market goes upside down, well, you could still live in it, rent it. I mean, it just seems to me that there's really not much risk if you're not having to put money down, like someone like me who hasn't served in the military, who has to put at least 3.5% or more to get out of mortgage insurance, which you don't have on VA loans. So the opportunity is incredible. I just wish more people would understand it, and I don't think the servicemen and women do.
No, you're absolutely right. So part of that is finding the right lending team and real estate team to work with to really understand your options, look what's out there. A lot of people go to Google and they get sucked into a company they think's actually the VA. All right, the VA doesn't do loans.
Right.
That's the biggest misconception. I meet with these veterans, and they were like, "Oh, I went to the VA." I go, "Well, show me what site you went to," and it had nothing to do
And
with
you know,
VA.
for civilians, it's the same. FHA, the government does not fund the loan; they insure the loan. But the funding comes from guys like you, who sell it in the secondary market, mortgage-backed securities. I don't want to get into all that, but you guys provide the loan. It's insured by VA, and there just happens to be much better options that are available if you've served.
There's a bunch of options out there, and somebody like Ricardo and myself can help explain that to the client, to the veteran. My dad served; he's a 100% disabled vet. My brother served; both were Marines, and me and Ricardo both San Diego natives. So we absolutely love San Diego. That's why it's chested here on the Charger Bowl.
Got it.
I pray to God they don't leave. Right? We got to
Unbelievable,
keep the
this guy.
Chargers there. I know, got to keep them there. I know you're a Ram fan. I'm sure you support
Rams are
another
dead
team.
to me.
Well, after they left St. Louis,
Yeah, they're dead to me.
Well, that's what we're hoping that doesn't happen, right?
It doesn't seem like that is going to happen, though.
I don't think it will.
Right?
Yeah, it would be foolish. But there's been a few NFL owners already said if the Chargers leave, we'll be there tomorrow night. Like, this is the greatest city to live in, and not to have an NFL team in one of the
Wouldn't make sense.
greatest cities,
Yeah.
it wouldn't make sense.
Speaking of sports, since we're talking about sports,
I
and
was
our,
gonna
our
say.
producers giving us the wind-up, you guys enjoy the All-Star Game festivities at all?
Did you get a chance to go?
Ricardo?
I did not get a chance to
No,
go.
I did
wish
not
I
get a
really wish
chance
I
to
would
go.
have, but
Oh, man.
Speaking of that, my sister and brother-in-law were here, and she just retired as lieutenant colonel from the Army, and so proud of her. Nurse midwife, was assistant head medic at Kuwaiti border, and brother-in-law was also retired military. So they said, you need to help veterans. You're so passionate about it. And then I met these gentlemen. So thank you
do
for
it.
having us.
I know you were at the All-Star event. I know I saw your Facebook. I know it was a blast. And what better way to show how great San Diego is, but having that All-Star event here, right, brother?
What a great way to finish the show. America's finest city. Thank you, Melissa Rocks, Ricardo,
Thank you.
Jason Hall. All right, we got to wrap this thing up. Great guest today. Coming back with more Operation American Dream in just a moment. That's all for today, Layman. Good show, man.
Yeah, what we should mention, man, is anybody that wants to get involved or get any information on any of these guests can always go to OperationAmericanDream.tv.
Yeah, good call. Hey, certainly going to the July 29th comedy show.
Yeah, Laughs for Warriors.
That's going to be fun, man. So
Yeah.
I'll have to get to that. I'm sure you will as well. But yeah, if you want to learn more about the show, follow us. Of course, social media, we're in that world, OperationAmericanDream.tv. Don't forget, check us out next Friday, same time, same place. But that's all for today. Thank you for those who have served. And we're out of here, man. Have a great weekend.
Happy weekend, man.